What's up, man? What's happening? It's the one, the only boy do I know boxing. Back at y'all again with another video, man. Boxing just took another black eye. We have another controversial decision. For y'all that don't know, my boy Josh Taylor, who I'm a huge fan of, definitely got a controversial decision. Josh Taylor, being undisputed at 140, had his title defense against Jack Catterall. But before I get into that, let me bring y'all a little something real quick, okay? Check this out. It says, Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. The British Boxing Board of Control will be investigating the scoring of this contest and will be advised accordingly. Now, for y'all that don't know, once again, the fight was highly controversial. It was a highly controversial fight, man. Like, you know, a lot of people felt like Jack Catterall should have had his hand rose that night. But even before I get into that, man, this brings back so many memories. So let me take y'all back to my hardcore boxing fans. Y'all know what I mean. Boom. 3 judges banned by state. The fallout from the controversial decision in the Paul Williams versus Erislandy Lara Jr. middleweight bout continued Wednesday when the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board took the highly unusual action of indefinitely suspending the 3 judges who worked the 12-round bout. Williams was given a heavily criticized majority decision victory Saturday night as judges Hilton Whitaker scored at 115-114, and Don Givens 116-114. I don't know how he scored at 116-114 for Williams, and Al Bennett had it 114-114. For y'all that don't know, that's 6 rounds of 6. That's 6-6 draw. Had the HBO televised main event at Boardwalk Hall, Adrian Fields Ballroom a draw. Lara, a former Cuban amateur star in his first major professional fight, however, landed his left hand at will. He appeared to win in the eyes of the reporters covering the fights. Okay, so check this out. The reason why I brought this up, guys, the reason why I brought this this fight up is because I'm finna ask you guys a question. Right? I'm finna ask you guys a question that I have yet to get an answer from. I'm finna ask you guys a question that I have yet to get an answer from. Okay? So check this out. As you guys saw in the Paul Williams versus Erislandy Lara fight, which was given to Paul Williams by majority decision. So Paul Williams won the fight by majority decision. Everybody and their mama knows that Erislandy Lara should have won that fight. The judges that scored that fight, all 3 of those judges got suspended. Answers this question. How is it that the athletic control, the athletic commission can suspend those judges, right? They suspend all 3 of those judges, right? But the fight doesn't get overturned. How does that make sense? So what are you suspending them for then? That never made sense to me. Never made sense to me. Y'all. The fight was controversial enough for y'all to suspend these judges, right? But it wasn't controversial enough for y'all to overturn the fight, at least into a no contest. So that never sat right with me. So I brought that up to say, don't be expecting much, bro. They might investigate in this, but let me tell you something. The Lara versus the Paul Williams fight was a lot more controversial than Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall, in my opinion. And they didn't even overturn that. Josh Taylor allowed himself to get smothered all night with him coming in. Now, Josh Taylor had the height advantage and the reach advantage, but just like in the Regis Prograis fight, he wasn't using it. He would try to come in on his combinations. Jack Catterall would meet him right there, which caused Josh Taylor to not be able to throw any punches on the inside. Actually got warned for rabbit punching a few times. Jack Catterall, who then landed that left hand at will, he couldn't miss the left hand. He blind Josh Taylor with the jab and landed his left hand at will anytime he wanted to, man. Had his eye swole, had his eye cut. I thought Jack Catterall definitely should, and he dropped Josh Taylor, not to mention. That ref is full of shit, man. I'm sorry, bro. What? I forgot why Jack Catterall I watched the fight late. I didn't watch it at its right time because I was in Mexico. I just got back from Mexico. Then I watched the fight. But I know he took a point away from Josh Taylor when Josh Taylor was just like giving dude like a little tap, like basically, at the end of the round, what you do when you've been in you know, when you've been in a war or whatnot. He took a point away from Josh Taylor, but he took a point away from Jack Catterall that was crazy to me. But even with that, man, Jack Catterall should have been, you know, he should have had his hand raised in the fight. I don't know what, I don't know what the judges, you know, I don't know what they had going on, man, but this is a disgrace to boxing, bro. Like, this stuff, like, this is ridiculous, man. And it's like, at what point does it stop? Boxing constantly shoots itself in the foot with these type of decisions and these type of choices. And I'm a huge fan of Josh Taylor. You can check my old videos. I'm a huge fan of Josh Taylor, but Josh Taylor should not have won that fight, bro. Let me tell y'all something. As a boxer myself, it's one thing to lose a fight because your guy was better. You know, your opponent was better. Okay, but it's a whole nother thing when you get beat by not by your opponent, but by the hands. Just the corruption of the sport, man. That hurts on a whole nother level. So I have this page coming up right here because Josh Taylor is now talking about it's a fact that he's moving up to 147. He's moving up to the welterweight division, right? Now, 3 of these names, of course, we know shouldn't be on there. We know Floyd Mayweather, Shawn Porter, and Manny Pacquiao have all retired. So then we're going to exclude them out for this list. However, these other guys I definitely want to talk about, because who on this list do you think that Josh Taylor, who would you like to see Josh Taylor fight next? We'll start from the top. I see Errol Spence bullying the hell out of Josh Taylor. Errol Spence is just too strong. I think that his body, I just think that his inside, man, Errol Spence is a good inside fighter. Think he'll be too much for Josh Taylor. Terrence Crawford, overall, just way better. Terrence Crawford told Josh Taylor to his face that he would F him up, okay? Keith Thurman, I think Keith Thurman could possibly stop Josh Taylor, man. Danny Garcia, that would be an interesting matchup. I would like to see that. I think Danny Garcia possibly beats him too. Danny Garcia is a very underrated boxer. Just because he doesn't do anything that's flashy, people don't think that he's much of anything. But Danny Garcia is very, very underrated. Very good, but a very good boxer. Yordenis Ugas, I don't think Yordenis Ugas stops him, but I definitely think that's an entertaining matchup that I think Yordenis Ugas wins, or Yordenis Ugas being the bigger, more polished welterweight. Virgil Ortiz hasn't really proved much to me yet. He looked good in his he got hit a lot against Marius Hooker, but he definitely he solidified himself, but I still don't rate him highly. Jerian Ennis, I think Jerian Ennis, that's a dangerous fight for Josh Taylor at this moment. And Kell Brook, it would be a good domestic rivalry for Josh Taylor. I think that fight sells, and I think that probably would be his. If I'm Josh Taylor, that's a fight that I would be looking for just to keep yourself going. Kell Brook, but I don't even know if Kell Brook will be able to make 147, because even his fight against Amir Khan, which was a few weeks ago, that was at 149. I don't know if Kell Brook is even interested in fighting at 147 anymore, man. So I don't know, man. Josh Taylor is a hell of a fighter, man. Like I said, undisputed at 140. But, you know, boxing took a black eye, man. What are they gonna do about it? Just like with Paul Williams versus Lara, you know, they suspended the judges, but didn't overturn the fight, which doesn't make sense. So what are they going to do about this? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, man. Let me know who would you like to see Josh Taylor fight, man? Because Josh Taylor, and let me tell y'all something else, man. Let me bring this up real quick, man. You guys got to stop saying, oh, he was overrated and all this type of shit, bro. Yes, he should have lost, but every dog has his day, man. It happens, bro. That doesn't make him overrated. All right, drop your comments, man. What did you think? But what do I know? Hey, but real quick, 1 second before I go, I definitely want to bring up, man. Y'all stay tuned for my next video about Chris Primetown Colbert on his upset loss to Hector Garcia, man. I'm definitely gonna drop my knowledge on that, man. Definitely want y'all to stay tuned. Drop your comments. What do you think, bro? Hey, but then again, what do I know?